and then just let me know when we're live. I think the last time it went live a little
Should
bit before
be
we said.
right now. We are live.
Hello, welcome everybody. I am David and this is Mr. Beans. Looks like he's getting his video going here.
Yep, just getting squared.
There's Quackers.
There we are.
How are you doing today?
Perfect. I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a short week, so it's been one of those things where they're trying to, pack 5 days into 4 days, and so it's been a little busy, but we're making it. We're getting there.
That's right. Well, that's good.
How are things with you?
Very good. Really excited to see where this little guy ends up tonight. We got a lot of really fantastic participation in this particular raffle, although we always do. Lots of possible winners tonight. I'm really excited.
I saw that too. I'm really excited about that. We've got 6 different people.
That's wonderful.
So
Fantastic.
we love that. And the one of the things that really makes these raffles great that I love is that you've got one of these beautiful pieces. Like today is this third generation Quackers, which Mr. Beans will be talking about in a minute here. But normally a piece like this is just out of reach for most people. Like, most of us cannot just walk into, you know, whether it's eBay or an online store or something like that and just say, "Oh, I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on Beanie Babies today." Like that's just not realistic. And so if you're like me, who grew up kind of looking at these rare pieces, like a third generation beanie, like we have today, which um, also happens to be an original 9, which is really cool. But um, we grew up looking at these third generation tags, being like, "Wow, I've like never actually seen one. I've never actually held one. Like I don't even know what it actually looks like except for pictures." Um, and now having the opportunity, maybe a few years later in our lives, to finally make one be within reach, that for in this case $8, you could be taking home this piece that is easily worth 10 times that, if not more. Is just it's just wonderful. It really just when we say putting top shelf beanies within reach while serving those in need, like that's really what this is. And that added piece about serving others in need, that every dollar that you're putting into this, and your participation, that part of that is going toward all of our charitable work, um, putting the joy of Beanie Babies in the hands of people who really need them or who could really benefit from them. And so, truly, win, lose, or draw with this particular piece or any piece that we have, or our direct sales, um, you are always helping other people. And so, it really is always a win. So,
Absolutely. I agree with that, David. 100%. We are so thrilled every time we get participation in these raffles. And it's so much of it is tied to the reasoning behind why we do them and the greater cause. So just as David said, thank you all very, very much.
yeah. So, who do we got today, Mr. Beans?
So, as we said a couple of times, we do have this really fantastic third generation Quackers the duck. He does only come with wings for third generation, so it is with winged Quackers. He also has this really fantastic first generation tush tag, which ordinarily in later gen beanies, not such a big deal which generation the tush tag is. But first generations are always going to be the most desirable tush. They are going to be quite a bit more valuable in every scenario than a beanie with a second gen tush, assuming that both versions, both tush tags are available on that beanie. The collectors are always going to want to go for that first gen tush. So he's equipped with that. We love
And
that about him.
easy way to tell that, it's the black and white with no heart, correct?
That's correct. Yep. So first generation tush tags, they're always going to be the black and white ones. Everything after that, second, third, and beyond, is going to be white and red. And then there's going to be differences from all the different generations as well, second and beyond. But this Quackers is really fantastic. His fabric is, perfectly bright yellow, no stains, no marks. He will ship with this tag protector on here. The tag is in absolutely what we consider to be very mint condition. Obviously, with unauthenticated beanies, it is a little more subjective, but we are really, really picky about the pieces that we sell as well as the ones that we put on raffle. So we feel really good about the condition of this particular beanie. And we also try to do our best in the raffle section where the slots are purchased to provide as many in-depth and detailed photos as we can for everybody to view and kind of make that decision for themselves as well.
And can we just for a moment here, and I know that this could be a long conversation, but being that this is one of the original 9 beanies, talk about what that means, and in particular, that Ty Warner really played a personal role in the design and the color, and the fabric of every single one of those pieces. Is that right?
Well, actually, Quackers is not in the original 9. He
Oh,
he
I
was
apologize.
he was available during first generation, so he absolutely is one of the older designs. And initially, during first generation, obviously he was without wings at that time. They refer to that as a wingless Quacker, but he is absolutely one of the older designs. And yeah, absolutely. And he really, when we look at the original 9, there are some colorful ones in the bunch. Patty the Platypus comes to mind, but there's also a lot of very earth tones and fabrics at play as well, with ones such as chocolate. And, you have the white fabric on Spot. And so there is some that are a little more dimmed down. And, once they dove in head on into all of first generation, Quacker really, really caught on. He really brightened up the bunch with his super, super yellow fabric. And yeah, I absolutely agree. I think a lot of thought and, process went into the way that they designed these earlier designs of beanies. And yeah, I think it's very much at play here with Quackers the Duck. Just like I love the fact with Patty the Platypus, once again, they could have done what they wanted to make that look much more realistic or to mimic what an actual platypus looks like, but they kind of came out of left field and decided on this, fuchsia pink color for that platypus. And that's really fun. It's something that kind of sticks with you and stays with you. It's extremely nostalgic now. And yeah, Quackers is going to be, a lot of people's all-time favorite, just because he really is synonymous as well with that wingless version that's so, so rare and so desirable by, every level of collector. I don't think there's anyone that wouldn't be thrilled to come upon one of those early generation Quackers. Absolutely.
100%. And so this one did begin without wings, and then they added on the wings. Was that second generation or?
Yep. So during second gen, so Quacker has a lot of different variations out there. And first generation is going to always be wingless. During second generation, it was available for a short period of time wingless during second gen. And then they did eventually switch it over and add the wings to him during second gen. And then they continued on with him right up through at least fourth gen. I'm not sure if there's fifth gens of him out there. Quite possibly could be. Third generation obviously also has wings only. So second gen is kind of that transitional period where he can be found with and without wings. To further compound that, there are variants of Quackers out there that do not include the S at the end of his name, and those are referred to as a quacker. And that is even more desirable. So you can find that, once again, we go back to first gen. You can find both name variations without wings. So that gives you two possible quacker and quackers that you could find in first gen. And then in fourth gen, you can find him in 4 different variations with and without wings with both name styles. And then here in third gen, the name variant did continue. He can be found with and without the S in his name with wings during third gen. This one we are dealing with is a Quackers third generation, and it does have wings, just to further clarify that for everybody. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. The Beanie Baby rabbit hole goes as deep as you're willing to fall in most cases.
I don't know about anyone else watching this, but I just hearing that learned like 3 new things about Quackers. So thank you for explaining that
Sure.
um,
Yeah.
and setting me right, because that's one of the things that further complicates is I know that especially the wingless version, you've got counterfeits of this that exist. Um, and so that makes it even more complicated is especially an older version of a beanie that goes back as far as this one does, making sure it's authentic, making sure it's the right tags, the right combination, the right name. Like it's a lot to go through. And I think that's one of the reasons that a piece like this is desirable.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And, we start talking about these earlier designs. You hit the nail right on the head. There are going to be countless counterfeits out there on the market. In certain designs and certain beanies cases, counterfeits are going to be far more prevalent than any of the authentic ones. It's just in this day and age, a lot of the authentic ones did not survive. They did not remain in good condition. And the counterfeits now, they far outweigh the authentic ones. So, usually in a lot of cases, we do like to go with authentication. I believe we ended up with this little guy. We here at Mr. Beans, we really pride ourselves. We have never sold a counterfeit piece. I've really spent a lot of time personally studying that subject matter, and really, a lot of trial and error there. So I really do my due diligence each and every time to guarantee that nothing that we sell is going to be counterfeit, whether it has been authenticated or not. So with that being said, this Quacker's 100%. I have zero doubts he is absolutely authentic. We would stand by that from any authentication service it may get sent to in the future. Yeah, we have no doubts he's a really great beanie. But yeah, you're right. You never can be too careful, can you, when you're dealing with these first through third gens and when counterfeits were just so prevalent in the market.
That is awesome. Well, I really appreciate you sharing that. So if you could, Mr. Beans, go ahead and give me host permission on here.
You got it.
And so we will begin. Here we go. So we are going to start to head into the raffle process here. So Mr. Beans, could you tell us the process, please?
I certainly can. So David, if you can take us all on over to random.org. That is going to be the online randomizer we use for all of our raffles.
Here we go.
Here we are. So what we have done, folks, for every slot you have purchased on this Quackers the Duck, we have given you 1 slot in this raffle. There were 10 total. So we currently have Donna owning 3 slots. Joe has 3. Tammy with 1. Melissa with 1. Dana with 1. And Jimmy with 1. And what we're going to do here, folks, is once we click this button down at the bottom left here that says randomize, you're going to notice that the list is going to jumble itself all up. Names are going to get all mixed up. And what we are going to do is we are going to randomize this list a total of 5 times. And after the 5th and final randomization, whoever's name appears at the top of this list is going to be our winner. We will be reaching out to you with email confirmation to receive your address and make sure that we can ship this beanie out to you at no additional cost. And that is pretty much how these play out, folks. They're a lot of fun. And, we've become quite good at them over time, I like to think. So without further ado, David, if we're ready, we are going to kick this raffle off with our first randomization. number 2, 3, 4, and 5th and final time. Good luck, everybody. Jimmy, you are our
Jimmy.
winner for Quackers. 3-1 Quackers the Duck. Congratulations, Jimmy.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So we will be reaching out to Jimmy, as Mr. Bean said, to get address confirmation, and shipping will be free as always. Um, so we're really excited to send this little guy to you. He's a special one. I know from the way that Nick spoke about him and myself as well. I mean, Quacker's fourth generation, I believe, was one of the first beanies I ever had. It holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. I think that's why it lasted for so many generations, because people just continued loving Quackers. It's synonymous with Beanie Babies. So congratulations. This is a really special one. We're glad that you get to take him home.
Absolutely. And I do want to touch on the fact that we had so many participants tonight. We had 6 different people here raffling with us tonight. And, you know, it just goes to show, folks, Jimmy here, just like many of the people in this raffle, he won this really great Quackers with 1 slot, guys. Sometimes that is all it takes. You know, that's absolutely fantastic. Just to reiterate, guys, he is going to be taking this beanie home for $8 flat. You know, no shipping costs or anything. And that really was what we had always hoped to see throughout these raffles, was people be able to receive and gain beanies that they don't have to, you know, go out and pay the full price, you know. And we really love the fact that we are one of the only places where you can acquire a beanie of this caliber for that price. Once again, really fantastic job. Congrats, Jimmy.
Yes. So thank you everybody who participated. As always, we thank everybody. Continue to participate. If you go to mrbeansbabies.com, you can view a wide variety of other raffles as well as direct sale pieces. We do continue updating these all the time. We just added, between the last raffle and this one, several beautiful new piece bears that have some really stunning colors. And I know a lot of people collect piece out there. So take a look at that, browse through that, and frequently we are adding new pieces all the time. So I would keep the website bookmarked and be checking it frequently, because like this Quackers here, once he hit half of his slots gone, then it was only a matter of an hour, and he was closed out. So keep an eye. If there's one that you like on there, definitely don't hesitate to get your slots in. And with that, Mr. Beans, would you like to send us out?
I sure would. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. We had a really fantastic time. As always, I am Mr. Beans, and I hope you had a fantastic time.
Good night, everybody.